Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego this site, the Tier 2 blue emote into chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, this is your opportunity to just lurk. You can just do that. If you don't want to do, you don't want to do other stuff, don't do other stuff. Just hang out and lurk. It's totally okay. It is a Monday evening. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Happy to have you here. It's a Monday. The agenda for tonight is to continue to work on the Methuss. We got the high-grade Methuss here from 2006. This is probably not 19-year-old plastic, but it certainly is a 19-year-old design. That's what I've been saying. So we're working on that kit here, putting that thing together. Is there other things that I want to say? Probably not. We're going to work on that. And the second hour, we'll talk about 2 anime shows. We were going to talk about The Water Magician this past Saturday, but then we got a big old raid, and I thought, I'm not going to go through it, even though it was the first episode, and maybe it was a good time. I didn't do that. So we'll talk about The Water Magician, and we'll talk about the private tutor. What was the fucking full name of this one? Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter, which I don't know if I'm going to keep talking about, because it's a little creepy. We'll talk about the first 2 episodes, and then I'm going to give it 3. Next Monday might end with me saying, and that's the last we'll ever hear of this show. Lord Crashton's here. Hello, Lord Crashton. Happy to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Let's go to the overhead camera. Let's get into things. So also a thing that happened on Saturday is I was having some connection issues. We were dropping some kilobytes. Hopefully that will not happen this time. If you watched the VOD, you saw the local recording, so you only heard me talk about it. You didn't witness it, but the Twitch VOD is kind of busted. It's there, but it's kind of busted. So we got the Methuss right here. You can see, got our Methuss. It's got a transformation that we know this happens in the transformation, so we already can see that right there. And then some of this stuff will move around. These flaps open and close. I kept them open because that's fun. So these will move around a bit, and there'll be some other stuff that's happening here. We got the top half of the kit done. We're going to work on the bottom half. So we'll put that aside for a little bit. We got the feet done. Feet are done. We can move those out of the way. And we got part of a leg done, and we're working on the whole other leg. We'll finish the leg, then we'll work on the other leg. That's right. It's leg night, baby. So we'll work on that. All we have left for this kit are the legs and the waist, and then assembly and transformation. So, we got a few things left. I got to learn how they all work and how to put everything together, but which we will do. We will do that. Going to take a little bit to get that going. Yes, as Brawler says, it's leg day. It is indeed leg day. And when it's leg day, we got to build the leg. So we got 829. It's another piece here. I hope you're all doing great out there on the only internet. Or you know what? If you're not doing great, I hope you're doing. I hope things are working out for you. I hope it's all good. An update. I still don't fucking know what's going on. I've got an issue with YouTube. Only YouTube. I have an issue where sometimes a video just ends, or it just stops, and then if I refresh, it'll be fine. But it stops and says there's a playback error. And I've tried a lot of different things to make this work. I've flushed the DNS. I have refreshed, did a rebuild of Firefox. I have cleared the cache. I have several times. I went in and deleted because I thought maybe it was related to because this can happen. Maybe it was an add-on that I put in Firefox pretty recently. So I got rid of that add-on. No, it's not that. And then even after I rebuilt, it's not that. And so I'm a bit of at a loss of what it is. I just don't know. I thought maybe it was because at some point recently there was an update to Ghostery, which is my ad blocker that I use. But I have YouTube, I have every part of YouTube set up so it's not blocked by ad blocker and it's not blocked by no scripts. So it's just like, what is it? I still don't know. There's just something wrong, and I don't know what it is, and I wish I did. There's like a couple. Like, I don't want to change my DNS. I can do that. Again, do I want to do that? No, but I could do that, and I might have to do that just to see. But I have tried basically everything that has been every thing that I've seen as a possible solution. I have tried and still not working. Hopefully it's fixed now. I don't know. It's not like a deal breaker. It is a little frustrating when I am like watching a YouTube live stream, because that's just frustrating to get interrupted in that. But it's not like killing anything. The thing that sucks about like the ad blocker is they don't serve me ads anyway, right? Because I pay for YouTube Premium, so it's not like I'm seeing ads at all. It's just a theory is that my ad blocker is triggering when like the YouTube on the YouTube's end where they're like, oh, should we serve you an ad? Actually, no. In the process of doing that, it's like, wait a second. And then it just gets fucked up. I don't know. Brawler says, this kit is a fun change of pace. I modified the arm beam guns to removal so I could use them as pistols. Yes. So these have a little thing here. They got the guns and they flop in, and then you can switch the arm so they hold them. And then they've got like underarm guns or side guns, depending on how you move the arm. And yeah, you could pop these out and make them removable. Certainly. I kind of like them being built in because I like a fun little gimmick. This kit has a bunch of gimmicks in that it transforms, and I like a good gimmick. So I think I'll probably keep it as is, but it is cool to know that this thing can get a little weird if you want to get weird with it. All right, so I believe this how do you work? This goes like this. And this is going to go here, and that goes there. That's what it is. All right. These hoses are plastic, which is nice, because the alternative is that, they're one piece of plastic, I should say, which is nice because the alternative is that it's tiny pieces of plastic that you have to thread on a thin piece of wire, and those can get really frustrating to do those. I hate those hoses. So these hoses, I'm fine with being rigid. I'm fine with the rigid hosing. Okay, so put that there. And then we need some C and B. So we put together one leg, and then again, we'll do the other. As I said, this kit is from the year 2006, but this is a reissue. I do not know when it was reissued, but I do know that it was a reissue. So this plastic is not that old, but of course the design is old. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. I believe I got this from USA Gundam store. There was a sale going on at one point, and I saw this and thought to myself, yeah, you know what? Sure. This is either a Gundam Planet or a USA Gundam store. I cannot remember which one I got this from, but I got it from one of those two. I think maybe this was Gundam Planet because I got the Union flag around the same time, and I know I got that from USA Gundam store, which is also a fun kit. That's a kit that looks like it should transform but doesn't transform. I do find that funny. I can show you. I'll pop in a Union flag photo here so you can see the kit, which I'll build at some point. I don't know when, but I will build at some point. Union flag. Here we go. Yeah, here's the Union flag. When you look at this kit, I always look at this and go, oh yeah, I bet that has a cool transformation. It doesn't. It's just the way the legs are. I think that's really what it is. The legs are in such a way that I assume that it would like fold up and become like a little jet or something. But as far as I know, it doesn't have that. B32, B41. So this is B32. Okay, we'll go over here. Pop this in. One bit of cool news is that I am getting a couple kits sent to me in the mail. A viewer and someone I know from a Discord reached out and said, "Hey, a friend of mine gifted me a kit that I also bought. If you would be interested, because now I have a spare, and it's a master grade. It's a recent master grade from a Gundam series that I really like. So some might say it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Gundam series. So, well, no, it's one of my favorite Gundam series. It's definitely not my favorite Gundam series, but it's one of them. And that'll be coming at some point, and I will treat that like I do mailbag stuff. I will make a mailbag for it, and it will be considered a gift, and it will jump the queue, much like buying stuff from my Amazon wish list and that kind of thing. It's treated like the wish list. Ooh, that looks neat. This is on the leg here. Oh, there's a little bit extra. Snip that off. But yeah, that pops out. That looks pretty cool. Got that all done there. And a little bit of hose sticking out. Looks cool. Hell yeah. All right, we got that piece of the leg done here. We've got more that need to go there. Or so we build the leg together. We got more hose to put on here. So we'll get that. B39 is this piece here. This is a high grade, but we got some big bulky parts. That's not too unusual. And then also, should just say, that kit's going to come at some point. It'll be the next thing that I work on when available. I am going to take a break from whatever I'm building a week from this Saturday. A week from this Saturday, I will start a new build that will be a special build in honor of my 8 years of streaming, my streamiversary. So we will begin the 8th year with something special, and I won't spoil what that is. I think I won't say it until the day of. When I start promoting that stream, I'll just say what it is that day. But right now, just say it'll be a special build. And then whatever I've been working on previously, if there's still, if I've got a kit that I haven't finished, that'll pop back into like the next thing I work on. We'll go back to that after a long pause. Every once in a while, I do that, generally around some sort of special event, or in most cases, and I guess I can say not in this case, but in some cases, if I have a Death Scythe, if there's a new version of the Death Scythe, that takes priority, and we just go and build the Death Scythe, because I fucking love the Death Scythe, as you are well aware. When it's time to work on a Death Scythe, I will work on the Death Scythe as soon as possible. All right, so this piece goes into this little hole here. I'm going to use my tweezers to make my life a little easier. My jeweler's tweezers. Nice little tool of trade here. Love these things. Get a good grip on it like that. And then that's going to go in there. Oh, that didn't work. So we'll try again. We'll try doing it down at this side here. Okay, we'll try this. Let's see. Well, there it is. There we go. Got that piece of hose in there. We may never even see that piece of hose, but we did need to put it in there, so we're doing what we gotta. And then this will go in just like the previous one did, I believe. Putting that there, and then that there. Much like the other hose that we had to put in, and then push it all the way so that we combined it together. It won't, snaps in place. Great, so that's there. So then this is going to go here. This goes like this. This goes, we got a poly cap to put in. Let's see, some new stuff. Not a lot of news from Anime Expo in LA. Talked about that on Saturday. There was some stuff announced. I think I announced everything from Crunchyroll's panel, which was kind of the end of the big announcements. various video games and such. Not video games, anime and such getting announced both this year and for next year. And there was a Netflix panel, and part of the Netflix panel was talking about how their anime viewership has tripled over the past 5 years. Stuff like Sakamoto Days and Edge Runners, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and they got more of that coming, and a bunch of other stuff. And they're doing more. They're doubling down on the anime strategy. And I'd mentioned this before, and I think it does bear repeating that, like, that's great. It's good, right? It's good that they are putting more emphasis on their anime offerings. They're doing more of it. One of the big reasons I think it's really kicked off is because they started doing day and date. They started doing simulcast releases, because originally Netflix wasn't doing that, because Netflix just releases in bulk, right? That's their model. Their model is, here's a show. Watch the show. So they would wait for a show to be done in Japan and then release a dub and the sub all at once. And that doesn't work in anime anymore. That did at one point. But it hasn't worked, right? It just hasn't. It has not been a thing for many years because people don't want to wait for a show. They won't. People don't. Well, some people will wait for the dub, right? There are always going to be people that wait for the dub. I don't want to present that like that's not a possibility. There are people who are like, yeah, I will watch this whenever I can, however I can, as long as I can get what I'm looking for. That sounds great to me. There are certainly people out there that are living their life that way. But a lot of people want to watch it as soon as possible, and they will watch it however they can. They will figure out a way to watch it. So, like, there is a romance show that Netflix has that is not releasing weekly. If you want to see it, you have to wait until September. And people that are very much interested in that will either forget about it because they have their weeklies that they watch, or the alternative is they will find another way to watch it. So that is... I thought they had learned their lesson, because Netflix jail doesn't help anyone. Their own numbers were like, oh, we thought Dorodoro would have hit harder. And it's just like, yeah, if you had released it weekly and let buzz build about it. But instead, people that really wanted to see it just watched it in fan sub form. They got a lesser experience in order to be sure they could see it. Which is a fucking shame. Is this N? I think this is N. I gotta see if I can read this right here. No, that's not N. I pulled the wrong one out. Dirty says, PG Death Scythe isn't on the table as of yet. Do they even exist higher than an MG version? No. So, Master Grade... so Full Mechanics is kind of a better Master Grade. One could argue that I think an argument can be made that Full Mechanics is, because it's in the 1/100 scale and it's kind of like a real grade, that those are more detailed in ways than some Master Grades. But right now, if you want to build a Death Scythe, sorry, I got an itch here. Dang. If you want to build a Death Scythe, the best... The highest grade would be a Master Grade. There has never been a perfect grade Death Scythe. It is kind of surprising they never did it. I don't know why. It is the second most popular, second or third most popular, depending on what poll you're reading. Excuse me, at what time. Because people really like the Wing, and people really like the Epion. The fact that they did an Epion real grade before they did a Death Scythe real grade, that's the thing that I would love to see them do, a Death Scythe Hell custom real grade. I think that would be phenomenal. But even if they did the original Death Scythe as a real grade, I think that would also be cool as hell. But yeah, the best ones are going to be the older Master Grades. They did revamp that Master Grade a bit in 2012 or 14. They kind of revamped that master grade when they did the manga spin-off one with the slight additions, but that was like a reissue. So it's not great, but it's better than the previous master grades slightly. Yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see a Death Scythe real grade. I don't think a perfect grade is ever going to be in the cards because they only do so many perfect grades these days. And it's usually the main Gundam of a show. Like a perfect grade Ariel feels more in the cards than a perfect grade Death Scythe. I don't have any information to support either of those things. I'm just going off vibes at this point. Let's see. According to Netflix, more than 50% of its members are, which is now watch anime. That is up from previous estimates, which was going about 25% of Netflix subscribers. And that is not just, now you could say, oh, that means that like, yeah, every year more and more people are checking out anime, which is true. Don't get me wrong, that's true. But it also is because Netflix is doing a better job about having anime. That's really what it is. Like, if you were hot for Ranma 1/2 or Sakamoto Days, that's how you watched it. Or Komi Can't Communicate, which is phenomenal. Like, that's how you watch those shows. There is no better way to watch them other than, because piracy and fan subs is not is not a better way. The anime haters are leaving. Yes, Lord Crashington. Clearly, it's because 25% of Netflix's audience left. So then now suddenly we just have the people that like anime. But yeah, I mean, this is good news. Say what you want about Netflix, and I certainly have thoughts about it. Obviously, not happy with their choice to return to Netflix jail. If they could consistently have things out of the like delayed system and do all their stuff simulcast, I think that would go a long way. That does not seem to be their MO at this point, which is frustrating. Hayao Miyazaki definitely stopped subscribing once he saw there was anime on Netflix. Yeah, it's like, oh, other anime. I don't need to see that. But also, like, I understand if you didn't want Amazon Prime, if you don't want Amazon Prime, the idea that the last Gundam was on Amazon is a bummer, right? That's a bummer. If you don't want to have anything to do with Amazon, totally get it. Totally understand that. Totally get that. A reasonable criticism of what's going on. If you're like, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to fucking deal with this shit? Like, totally understand that. Totally here for that conversation. But and a very weak but. High Dive, Amazon Prime, Netflix, those places having anime is good for anime. It is good for fans. It is good for consumers because the monolith, we've already seen what happens with the monolith. Crunchyroll doesn't even promote all the shows they have. There's no way they could, right? They don't do, if you go to Crunchyroll's YouTube channel, you're not going to see clips of every show that's out this season. You're going to see select clips. They pick the ones they think are going to be the best return on investment for getting people to get the service, right? Because that's all it is. All this is get the service. So it's like they're going to pick the big ones. They're going to pick ones that they think could draw eye. They're not going to do everyone. Your favorite show that happens to be on Crunchyroll it might not get any promotion at all because it doesn't rank for them. It doesn't fit in there. There's a bunch of stuff that just never will get because there's so much goddamn anime on that service. They can't promote it all. It would just be impossible to do that. All right, so I gotta get this piece in here. I'm gonna do it like this. Try to get this to fit in. Gotta get it through this poly cap. Oh, I got it. Okay, great. All right, so that goes like that. And this goes like this. And then, oops. All right, and then this piece has to go in here. And I have to line up everything that I need to line up properly. So let me do that. You go like this, and then you go like that. And then I'm just going to make sure that I'm not missing anything. I don't believe I am, so then I can figure out how to lock this in place. Got to do that. Sorry, everybody. Just it's going to go like that. I'm also going to make sure that this is B39, and that's the right piece. Because if it isn't, then I have to do something else. No, it's B39. That is B39. Okay. But yeah, more competition in the anime space is better for everybody. That just works out way better. Nathan just subscribed with Prime. That's 35 months. Thank you so much, Nathan. Let's roll Bear Cave Legos site tier 2 blue emote in chat. Thank Nathan very much for the continued support. Appreciate you. Yeah, if you got some emotes, you can throw the emotes in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Nathan. Other news stuff we can talk about here. Not much news. There was talk that perhaps the folks that make Vault Breakers, Beta Dwarf, which is a Danish independent developer, they make the top-down action RPG Vault Breakers. So it looked like there was scuttlebutt out there that Square Enix was going to buy them. It sounds like that is not the case. They are merely heavily investing in them, which again is not purchasing. Although if you are investing some money to be a minority stakeholder in the company, it does lend some credibility to the idea that perhaps in the future you will be hopping in there. Okay, so this goes like this. This goes like that. This all looks right. It's this piece that I'm right now confused about how this goes in. Like, I know that this goes, these go like this. So how does this piece fit in? It doesn't? Does it just not? That doesn't seem, this doesn't seem right at all. Like, this whole thing seems wrong. Like, this just seems like I'm doing something wrong here, and I'm not sure what. But this piece doesn't, like, oh. I don't want to force it, but it does feel like I'm doing something wrong. This piece right here, like, just feels wrong. This top part here feels wrong. So we're going to disassemble, and we're going to, we'll pop this out because, oh, is this, ooh, okay. This middle piece here is not in far enough. That's what it is. That's what it fucking is. Part of the leg here was not in far enough. And that would certainly be the reason why this wasn't working. Certainly. Okay, and this goes like that. And then this should then line up properly with everything. Because now it is... Now, yes. Okay, great. So I was right not to force it. Because I had messed up a step. And now that I have the chance to fix that, we're all good. And then this goes like this, which looks weird, but also that's because it's at the back of the leg. And then this, yeah, that goes like that. Yep, that goes like that. That looks like that. This whole leg is weird because it bends. It basically, because it's got a transformation, it does this. It does like a lot of weird shit because of the transformation. That's like that part of the leg. Basically, it bends back and forth. As I said previously, this kit is either the first or one of the first high grades that has a transformation. I do not know exactly. My apologies that I was not able to verify if there was one that came out before this. I'm pretty sure there was, but this is one of the first mobile suits in Gundam to have a transformation. And I don't know, but I think there were other kits that transformed that came out before this. Actual kits, but the model, the mobile suit is the first or second, something like that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so they're putting some money in there. It seems like, and they got a minor shareholder stake, which is not purchasing, and that's good. We know. I think investing and not purchasing sounds better than purchasing it. So we'll see. I don't think anybody that watches what I do here, I don't think any of y'all are World of Tank people. I'm pretty sure none of you are World of Tank people. But if you are somebody that plays World of Tanks, then you already know this, that there is some tank and cosmetic items in the game for Duke Nukem. So over the weekend, World of Tanks announced Duke Nukem was going to be part of the game's latest Battle Pass. So the new Battle Pass has Duke Nukem stuff in it. There was voiceover work from John St. John. And if you are going to have Duke Nukem and you don't hire John St. John to be the voice of Duke Nukem, you really fucked up. So they did the thing. They didn't fuck that part up. And he says a bunch of lines that he has been saying since 1996. And depending on how you feel about those lines being said in 2025, it's a weird choice that sounds bad and strange and very odd. It is a weird thing. I've watched the trailer. I thought this as well, but this has been written up by Zach Zwiesen, I should say. Zach Zwiesen, from about the World of Tanks crossover thing. It's the same lines again. At one point, Duke Nukem shouts, "Shake it, baby," at a tank. Which is a weird thing. I've been known to dabble with artillery in World of Tanks, but I prefer playing battleships in WoW. Nice. Yes. World of Waterships. And yes, dirty. Lara Croft is also part of the new pass. This is part of the Heroes Path event, which is starting July 10th and running until July 21st. So you got some time to get the stuff you want out of it. They're not physically in the game. This is voiceover stuff and cosmetic stuff here. 2 real-world tanks have been modified to better reflect Duke and Lara. Duke's tank is a TS6, a Tier 9 U.S. assault heavy tank. And there's some enhancements. The tank design draws inspiration from classic Duke Nukem weapons such as the incinerator and the fire extinguisher. No pricing information was included in the press release. Battle Pass is split into 2 chapters. One will provide 30 stages for Lara Croft. The other will feature 40 stages for Duke Nukem. You'll be able to unlock various cosmetics inspired by each character and their franchise. And I imagine because it is a limited time promotion that you kind of have to choose who you want. Or I bet there's a way to make it work with money. I bet there's a way to speed up the process because there's there's just no way there wouldn't be a way to speed up the process. How could there not be a way to speed up the process? I'm being very fucking cynical, I'm sure. But yeah. Saw a post saying it's a 70 stage battle pass requiring 50 plus games per day over 11 days to complete. That's too much. Unless you are either very good or very bad, that's too much time investment to just play it. So you've got to enhance your experience, he says, hating himself for saying that. You got to offset the cost by bullshit, by doing bullshit. Yeah, all that stuff is gross. There have been times, I should say this. There have been times where I have paid the money to get the better battle pass in Hearthstone. I have not paid for a pack in Hearthstone in quite some time, but I have bought the better battle pass on occasion. I have not done that in like 2 years, I would say, but before that I did do that because really, after a while, the upgraded battle pass just gets you to finish the battle pass faster, but I can already finish the battle pass in a month because I play every day. If I wasn't doing my weeklies and I wasn't doing my dailies, I probably would consider doing it again just to get the bump up. But really, at the end of the day, it's just like, you get more experience with that. And you get some legendary stuff, you get some golden cards, but like that's not worth it to me. I think I found that I'm just like, I don't miss that part of the game. I like what I got when I get it. All right. This has been panel lined. I'm going to clean it up and then we will put this on the leg and then we will consider one leg done. And then we got to work on the other leg. Break out the HMS MasterCard. Yes. Sometimes you got to pay for that shit. Romero Games is not closing. John Romero has come out to set the record straight. There has been some misreporting. It seems like there wasn't actually misreporting. It was more there was just a lot of conjecture. Romero Games did have its funding pulled for a game and the funding canceled for that game. And of course they can't say it was Microsoft, but we fucking know it was Microsoft. But basically, John Romero's like, yeah, we didn't close the studio. We're going to try to find another publisher. So that's what we're doing right now is shopping it around, trying to get ourselves a new publishing deal. You know what? I do think I did part of this wrong. Now that I look at this. This might be wrong. Let me see. This, yeah, I probably put this together wrong. Yeah, I did. I gotta disassemble part of this because I definitely did this wrong. So sorry, everybody. I thought I was done with this leg, but now that I look at it, I am not done with this leg. I'm gonna pop this piece off here, and we're gonna figure out what I did wrong. This piece is going, yeah, all right. Okay, so we're going to reassemble this whole middle part here so that I do this properly. This goes like this. And this is like that. And this looks like here in front of it. And then this goes like this in front of that. And then this goes like that. I think that'll be correct. So yeah, so they are looking for another public. Right now they just had an all hands meeting. Yeah, they're not shutting down. They are looking for. They've reached out to a bunch of different publishers to kind of see what's going on. So nothing's set in stone. But hopefully somebody will step in. And they obviously, like I said, they can't say it's that. But yeah, that is just an update. It felt important to mention that because it did seem like, because, I think it was fair to say, like, oh, well, they were working on a game for Microsoft. Now they aren't working for a game for Microsoft. They must be in some fucking trouble. I think that is a reasonable assertion to make, but is apparently, at least at this point, not a fully accurate statement to make. There is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully some wiggle room can be found and they can figure that shit out. All right, so this is going to go like this. Then this goes like this here. But I did want to update that because I was, I think I was spelling doom and gloom like many people were. Okay, So that's in, and now this has to go in like here. All right. And then that goes, okay, yes, this feels better. This looks better. That's how that works. Okay. All right, I have done this, I believe, properly. We'll find out later if I really fucked it up or not. And then there, the leg is done. And the leg does things like that, and then also bends in, and then this is going to do a thing and change things around that goes like that, and then this goes somehow. This does something else, I'm sure. This thing, we'll figure out all of that when the time comes. But right now, we got a leg. A leg is done. Yeah. Leg done. Okay, moving on to the other leg. Got to start off where we left, or start off basically doing exactly what we did previously, and hopefully we'll get all that done now. We got a little time before the pause of the cause. I will say, I talked about this previously. We'll do an update here. The director that has been removed from the studio that's making Subnautica 2. Crafton basically last week was just like, hey, we're getting rid of the co-founders of Unknown Worlds. And everything's fine, but we're doing that. That way the game's going to come out. We're going to do this, and then the game's going to come out, and everyone will be happy. And then people were rightfully like, that sounds bad. That sounds like that's like, are you sure the game's going to come out? Because that sounds bad. And they were like, look, we wanted to keep them until the game came out, but it was their time to go. They were all going to leave anyway, which is like a weird thing to say, but is sometimes true. Like maybe the game was supposed to already have been out, and so when they bought the company, it was by this date, there'll be a changing of the guard and all that. Like that certainly happens. You'd think they would try to extend contracts until the game actually came out, but that is not what happened. So again, I think it's totally reasonable to be like, that's strange. What the fuck is happening here? So then, Cleveland, this is Charlie Cleveland, who directed the first game, said, we know the game is ready for early access release, and we know you're ready to play it. And while we thought this was going to be our decision to make, at least for now, the decision is in Crafton's hands. After all these years, to find out I'm no longer able to work at the company I started stings. And he said that they were shocked about this. And supposedly it's still coming to it's supposedly still planned for a early access release this year. Yeah, but maybe it won't. Who knows? So it sounds like this is not what he said. This is not word for word what he said. But if you read the comments that he did make on the Reddit thread, it sounds like maybe they wanted to get into early access as soon as possible to get feedback. And perhaps Crafton wants it to be in a better state before it enters early access sometime next year. And then there's the follow-up information here. Cleveland and the others sold Unknown Worlds to Crafton in 2021. And at the time, the publisher claimed it would continue to function as an independent game development studio, which obviously, citation needed now. Yeah, so that's a bit of an update. It does seem like Crafton is just going, this is not ready for early access. Or maybe Crafton was like, actually, why put it out in early access in the first place? It's a sequel. We'll just put it out when it's ready. That could be the case. I don't know. But clearly, there was an issue, so much so that they remove the people who made the fucking game to then just go a different direction. And we'll see. We'll see what happens when Subnautica 2 releases at some point. Maybe in early access. Maybe they'll skip early access. Who knows? We have a little time left here. Let's talk about All In 2025, which is happening this Saturday. It's in the afternoon, or at least it starts in the afternoon and will run into the evening. I will not be missing my stream on Saturday. I will be doing my normal stream this Saturday. Do not plan to take the stream off. Often when an AEW event is on a Saturday night, I take the night off to watch it with friends because I really like watching AEW with friends. In this case, I still will be able to do that, but then also stream, and I'll be able to give a full review. Look, there exists the possibility, and I've been joking about this, that Y'all In, as it's been referred to, will not be over at 9 p.m. I cannot imagine that they will do a 6-hour main card show. But the possibility still exists because it is AEW. But if the show is starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time, the main card kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern, I can't imagine it'll run till 9 p.m. Again, there still exists the possibility. I just have to believe that they won't for my own. And you know what? I would hate to miss the main event. I would hate to miss the Texas Death Match. And find out who, either if Hangman Adam Page becomes the new champ, or if our boy Jon Moxley retains, which I hope not. The card right now is 8 matches. There has been no pre-show mentioned. There will be a pre-show. There's a 2-hour pre-show called 0 Hour, which again is not an hour anymore. It was at one point. So it's totally likely there will be more shows. I don't know if there's going to be anything else on the main card. The only match that would make sense to be on the main card that isn't there is the Trios titles, because on Collision, Claudio and Wheeler Yuta said they want those belts back. Now, is Pac cleared to return? We don't know. Would they have Gabe Kidd come out? We don't know. Would there be a new member of the Death Riders debuting? Possibly. These are all possibilities. Do not have any answers for you about anything like that. I can just tell you that I could see that being added. I don't think any Ring of Honor belts will be defended because they're all being defended on Supercard of Honor the night before. So, but pre-show, I imagine, look, I would say any woman of a certain note that you don't have in the Women's Casino Gauntlet, you can have a tag match, do something like that. All of the other belts other than the Trios are being defended. So there's no pre-show defense there, but there are a few people you could probably get in there if you've got some CMLL guys that you want to showcase, because right now we know that Mystico is in the men's gauntlet, but that's the only CML member so far, so you could do that. I could see a world where Hologram and Commander are in the pre-show, if not in the main card, if not in that, if they want to have Hologram not in a match there because he is undefeated. So they don't want him in the loss column there. I could see that. There are things that could happen in that 0 hour. There exists the possibility. They haven't announced it. They would announce it on Wednesday. It's not outside the realm of possibility that the Costco guys are going to be in the pre-show, right? Like, that just is you can never, ever discount the fact that the Costco guys might show up and be in a match. Probably not the Sun. Probably just Big Justice. Probably not the Kid. But the idea that they're gonna, have the Costco guy in a match like that totally makes sense to me. The Outrunners. The Outrunners and FTR are not on the card anywhere. They had a match on Collision. Danny Garcia also not on the card. Now, I thought Danny was going to get added to Adam Cole versus Kyle Fletcher. I really thought that was a likely thing. That does not seem to be the case. FTR and Outrunners not being on the card. I also thought maybe we were going to get Danny Garcia and Adam Copeland or Cope together versus FTR. But that, I think, would have been set up on that collision, and it didn't, so I don't know. I could see Kyle Fletcher and Roderick Strong in the pre-show. I could see FTR in the pre-show. I could see the Outrunners in the pre-show. Outrunners are just make so much sense to be there. And they don't really make sense to be in the men's gauntlet. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with them, but those feel like, those guys in hologram feel like the obvious ambitions to me. Danny Garcia, FTR, Outrunners, and that. Fair to say, also, we don't have Takeshita in anything. He could definitely be in the men's gauntlet. Also, he is in the main event, or one of the two main events for the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. So he is doing something the night before, but I could definitely see him make an appearance as well. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility either, that he could make a appearance on that. So who knows? Other women's matches that could end up on the card. Chris Statlander is in the women's gauntlet, Casino Gauntlet. I would have said that she and Willow could have had a blow-off match, but that is not happening. I could see Willow versus Marina Shafir on the pre-show card. I think that is certainly a thing you could do. I don't necessarily think they should, but it is a thing you could do if you wanted to. If you wanted to have her make an appearance, you certainly could. What happened here? Lord Crashington wants me to hit the dance button, and I will hit the dance button in just a moment. Is this not A11? This is not A11. This is the wrong. This goes on later. I pulled the piece off too early. Let me get A11 out. I will hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for the dance button. Here is me pressing the dance button now. Yes, Lord Crashington, the alerts started working again. That was a one stream issue. It was on Twitch's end, not my end, which is always nice. Oh man, it's so cool when something fucks up and it's not my fault. Love that. You love to hear it and to see it. Also, it's not, I don't know for sure if it was me or if it was I did read some other people saying that the server that I use, the Georgia server for Twitch, was being weird over the weekend due to the weather. I don't know if that's why I was having the technical issues that I was having there. I will say that I did completely and utterly uninstall the Logitech software, the Logi software, and I have not had an issue with my local recordings not wanting to stop and all that. That seems to have been fixed. I don't have to Control-Alt-Delete to close things in order to get that working, which is phenomenal. We love that shit. We love hearing that. It was very frustrating to figure that out, but yes, that was apparently the Logitech software. If I recorded things without my webcam on, it was fine. But if my webcam was on, it was not fine. And now I don't have to worry about that, which is great. Very happy about that. All right, I'm going to get this so I can get into position here. We will take a pause for the cause, talk about ways you can support the channel, and then I'll talk about the anime that I've been watching. I'll have to definitely refer to my notes for Water Magician because I watched that for Saturday stream, so I watched it on Saturday. Oh man, I'm gonna have to watch the Water Magician. I'm gonna have to wake up and watch the Water Magician episode before the stream next Saturday. I'm gonna definitely have to make time for it because I'm gonna be watching wrestling all day. Oh, poor me, watching wrestling all day. And then another show. I don't know what else I'm gonna be watching right now. Maybe I'll just talk about more manga, but I don't know what I'm covering right now. As I said, Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter, I'm like a little iffy on because it's like I don't know. This is a little off in my estimation. Not 100% sure I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to give it another episode, and I don't know after that if I'm going to keep watching it or not. But I'm going to at least do one more, and then yeah, like I said, it's just right now trying to figure out what I want to watch. And new stuff is starting up. You know, not everything comes in waves. I am watching the Tanuki show, which I cannot remember the full name. It's what is it? It's something about You, Me, and the Rain. Something, no, it's Rain. Rain is part of it. With You in the Rain. That's what it is. With You in the Rain. Loved the first episode of that. Watched that yesterday. That was really lovely. I don't think I'm gonna probably cover it, but it is really good, and I really enjoyed the first episode. So probably more of that. It was very, very cute show. So we'll probably get into more of that. Yeah, okay, let's see. All right. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you, the viewer, about ways that you, the viewer, could help out me, the streamer. Everything I'm about to talk to you about here is completely optional. You're under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to, that would be rad. First and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Kuma Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. So if you are a subscriber, throw those emotes in the chat. Let the people see, let the people know. You can become a subscriber with Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token, like Nathan Explosion did using the token. That's always a great way to do those things and things. So if you want to do that, you can. You can use Cash Money, as I said. You could gift a sub. Hey, no gifted subs this month so far in July. If you want to get on the action, you can gift a sub. That would be cool. You could do that if you wanted to. And then you could also be like Harold, H-Bomb and Friends, and cheer, and you could get top of the cheer leaderboard. That would be a way to support what I do here if you want to do that. I also have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. At the Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. My $3, $5, and $10 patrons just voted on what I was going to do on tomorrow. And I'm going to look at the results for that. And it's a fucking tie. So tomorrow, I'm either watching wrestling, the Lady Hoss edition, where we're going to look at some powerful ladies in wrestling, or I'm going to play Pokemon Heart Gold Randomizer, and I will make the call tomorrow. I will check in on that tomorrow, and let y'all know what how things work with that. Because it is 50-50, so I'll check tomorrow to see how people are doing on the poll. Because I have not, so right now that's 50-50, and I don't know. It'll be one of those two things, and I'll make the call tomorrow. I will probably do a random number generator. And then the other thing I'll probably do later in the month, right? Because enough people were interested in it. That's 50-50. That has got tie votes. Nobody wanted the third option, which is more Nubby's Number Factory. I will be streaming that again because I fucking love Nubby's Number Factory. It is my game of the year. So I'll tomorrow check my messages out there on social media, and you'll find out what I'm doing tomorrow night. I have a YouTube channel over at youtube.com/PatBear. Over on that channel, you can, of course, subscribe for free. If you wanted to, you become a member, and for just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So tomorrow, if you signed up today, tomorrow you would find out what what I'm going to be, you'll find the next thing for my Wednesday video series. Still have not gotten processed my AdSense for the month, but that's okay. Now, those are monthly ways to support me. If you would like to just support me on a one-time basis, if you just want to throw something in the tip jar, well, I've got a Ko-Fi and I got a PayPal link, and you could make some donation to those. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits. The Methuss that I currently am building right now, the Methuss you can see right there. Once again, I didn't switch over here. This is now 2 streams in a row that I did not switch to this shot here. I fucked up. But yeah, I was able to work on this kit because of your generosity. Past you is helping out present me. If you would like to help out future me, you could join me on Patreon or here on Twitch as a member or my YouTube. Now, if you want to say, Pat, don't build anything from your backlog. You've got a backlog of stuff. Forget that shit. I got other stuff for you to build. Well, there's a way to do that. And that is to buy something from my Amazon wish list. If you buy something from my wish list, it will jump the queue. It will become the next thing that I build. You'll get a dedicated video for my YouTube channel called a mailbag video. And there's a variety of stuff here on the list. Now, unfortunately, a bunch of stuff on my wish list has jumped up in price. And that's a shame. I have to reorder some stuff. I'll reorder before Thursday's stream. But yeah, the Planeswalker for Magic the Gathering jigsaw puzzle is now $25, which was much higher than it was previously. Hopefully it'll drop in price again, but it might not. But I got model kits. I have Lego sets. I have inexpensive kits. I have, unfortunately now, lots of expensive things. If you see something on that wish list you'd like to see me put together, you can buy it and then I'll build it on stream. And there's a bunch of different things. Some old kits and some new kits. There's the one high grade from Iron Blooded Orphans that I've never built. The Hekia. I would like to build the Hekia. And that is on my wish list and is again the only high grade regular high grade, because there's some premium Bandais I haven't built, but the only regular high grade from IBO that I haven't worked on, all the way to like really goddamn pricey kits and Lego sets that like it would be wild if someone bought that, but if you want to, you certainly could. If you want to buy the Tall Geese Fugal from Endless Waltz, which is it's the Tall Geese 3, the original Tall Geese, I should say, but with like feathered wings from the Endless Waltz wing. You could do that. You could buy that. If you want to buy the Typhoeus Gundam Chimera, which is just, or Chimera, I guess you'd say, which is like, it's a Gundam that's in like an exosuit. And it fucking rules. It's just like a good, cool-looking Gundam with a shield that looks like a dragon head, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex head. And then also, it's got like an exoskeleton that it climbs into that just fucking rules, with big hands that come off of it, like big extra hands and like its shield becomes a foot. And also, that thing transforms. It's fucking wild, but it is wildly expensive. So if you wanted to get that, you could. I have a Throne wish list. That's my alternative to Amazon because it's nice to have alternatives for people out there. I try. And then also, the most convoluted way to support me financially is to go to USA Gundam Store and buy a gift card. They will send you an email with the gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Blue Sky or Mastodon or Twitter. Yeah, with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And you could even, if you wanted to, send me a suggestion. Be like, hey, I got this gift card. You should buy this kit. You could do that if you wanted to. Let's see. Anything else here? If you want to support me financially, but you don't, you don't want to support me financially, but you want to still support me. If you haven't already, join my Discord. It's full of lovely folks. We would be happy to have you. I have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that I want you to watch. It's me talking about all 8 isekai from this season. There's an asterisk, because some people would say that one of the shows that I'm mentioning shouldn't be on that list. Is it because it's not actually an isekai? No, there's another reason why some people wouldn't include it. And I go into those reasons. And there's an asterisk, but I still think it's one of the 8. So you can watch that. And then I will have a new episode of Kuma Baer up this week. But if you missed the previous one, I talked for under a minute about Rock is a Lady's Modesty, one of my favorite shows from last season. And you should check out my 1-minute video about that awesome show. And then watch that show. Or wait till August for the dub to start coming out. But either way, you should check it out because it rules. I got to adjust my chair here, so... Hold on. Wheels it in just a little bit. Get a little closer here. Got comfortable. Okay. So now is the part of the stream where I am going to start working on my kit. We got to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera. We're going to talk about some anime that I've been watching. 2 shows. And then we're going to keep working on this cool model kit. And then more stuff will happen after that. In order to do that, what I'm going to ask for you is to hang tight, get ready for it, and then also I'm going to drink some water, and we're going to do that right now. All right. So let's talk anime. I didn't get to talk about The Water Magician because we got a big old raid on Saturday, which fucking ruled. And then Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter. We got 2 episodes to talk about there. So the first episode of this show of Water Magician is an isekai. And we know that right off the bat because our main character, Ryo, is dead. He died in an accident. And he ends up... basically just in front of some sort of supernatural creature he thinks is an angel, and in his head he names it Michael, and then the angel, this creature, can read his mind and is just like, yeah, all right, Michael it is, call me Michael, sure. But he's like, hey, can't put you in a new body here on Earth. I'm gonna send you to a fantasy world called Fee. I don't have a mission. You don't have to defeat a demon lord. You just live your life how you'd like to live your life. I'll give you some natural, and put you in an environment where you can survive and learn and just do your best. Do whatever you want to do on that world. So he sends him to a forest that we later learn is called Rondo Forest, and turns out the magic that he has been instilled with, so he can use magic in this world, is water magic, because of course he's the water magician. So our guy has this book that does have some information about monsters in this world and some stuff about how to use magic and all of that. So he's not completely lost. It is not a complete he's still got to do his best, but he has a little bit of guidance. And this is a kind of slow episode. It's a lot of him exploring and figuring stuff out. I will say it's not as slow as the manga. The manga takes its time more. I understand the pacing of an anime has to be different. I'm hoping that future episodes are a little slower and they allow the pace to be a little bit more relaxed. But I also completely understand why this is not as slow as the manga, and why they're kind of getting where they want to go. We see him defeat a lesser boar, and then he fights a hawk, but the hawk runs away. We're seeing that he is starting to apply his water magic as ice, because why wouldn't he be able to use ice? Maybe this is part of him being an inquisitive guy or having a deeper imagination, but he is thriving a bit as he starts to learn how to use his powers and starts to recognize that, like, oh yeah, all right, well, I'm pretty good at magic. We don't know how long he fights, but he does about a month. He starts meeting more and more difficult monsters that he has to fight. But again, slow process. He's just doing the thing that he does. It's cool. And then he encounters a Dullahan, which is a headless horseman. No horse. It is a headless monster that also has a sword. And the Dullahan could easily defeat our guy. Our guy Ryo, hey, anime over. Could have ended right there. But he doesn't. And Ryo starts to fight him a bit more and realizes this Dullahan is fucking training me. There was a headless horse the first time he saw the Dullahan. Yes, Dirty, you're right. There was a horse. I forgot about that. There was a horse for this Dullahan, but most of the time we see the Dullahan, there is no horse. You're right. That did escape me. That did escape my memory. That did not make my notes. Yeah, basically gives him this sword with like a water blade and starts training him. That this Dullahan does not communicate. This is just like by instinct, and you're kind of left to wonder, what's up, Dullahan? Why are you training this guy? Do you have fleeting memories of being a human that trained? Is this the first intelligent life form that you found in the forest, and so you're just psyched about it? Are you looking to train someone to kill you? Like, what's the deal? We don't quite know what's going on with that, but it's fucking cool. So he gets trained, and then the assassin hawk that he previously didn't get a chance to defeat has evolved into a higher life form in order to get revenge because our guy caused that thing to flee. And Ryo kills it and is kind of thankful to the hawk because, hey, you made me stronger. I had to get stronger in order to defeat you. And then a red dragon, the red dragon Lewin, appears and is just like, wow, you killed that hawk, huh? That's pretty fucking cool. Also, that sword you're holding belongs to the Fairy King. So, also pretty cool. And because this is the first being that our guy Ryo has ever been able to communicate with, Ryo is just like kind of just like peppering him with like, okay, so what's up? Like, what's going on with this and what's going on with that, and just kind of like getting some information out of our cool dragon friend. And then also, this episode ends with our guy, which we refer to as Michael, being like, huh, turns out he's got a hidden ability. And Ryo has been born with the hidden ability of eternal youth. So there's more to the story and more going on. I really love this. I think this is a laid-back approach, which is warranted and wanted from this story. I've really enjoyed my time with the manga. I'm just at the point now where our boy is. There's been plenty of opportunities for our boy to kick a lot of ass, but this one in particular, he's had time lately to kick some serious ass, and that has been quite good. It's been quite good to watch that happen. So yeah, I'm just fucking over the moon for this. I think this adaptation has been solid so far. I look forward to watching more of it, and I'm fairly confident at this point I can say that I will be covering this show on a weekly basis. So, but on Saturdays. So I'll be watching the next episode before Saturday's stream. So yeah, I'll be covering this on Saturdays. I would have last Saturday, but again, we got interrupted Pleasantly interrupted, I should add. Pleasantly interrupted. All right, so now I've learned from my mistake in the previous one, and I've pushed this all the way down so that this will then fit here when the time is right. The time isn't right because I have to build other stuff to put on this, which we'll do now. I need 10, which is... Oh, it's this piece here. Okay, I'm just say and then some C's. All right, let's talk about Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter. I'll go through these 2 episodes, not super quick, but fairly quickly. Again, not convinced I'm going to be watching the show beyond the 3rd episode, but I'm going to give it 3 episodes. So, our guy Alan, on purpose, we don't know a lot that's going on. There is someone that he is close to that seems important, but we don't know quite what's going on there. Our guy Alan is like not a legendary, but he's well known in as a magician, and he was taking the exam to be a court sorcerer. And he apparently failed that exam. Now, did he fail because he was so busy helping someone else study for it? That's the impression that I get, but we don't know. He's got circumstances. Anyway, basically, he gets talked into a quote-unquote easy job. The Duke Walter Howard is like, wants his daughter Tina to get some magic training before she goes to the Royal Academy. So he's way out in the boonies, so our guy's got to travel, but it's just like, all right, well, this will be an easy, I get room and board, I get paid. Also, maybe he can get out of the capital and not have to deal with that. And so he takes the job. He meets Graham, the butler, Ellie, the maid. And then he's like, so Ellie, the maid, doesn't exist. That's Tina in disguise, because Tina wanted to go out and meet him in person and meet him without him knowing who she was. And apparently the real Ellie is like very embarrassed and overwhelmed. And Walter, the Duke, Walter Howard, is like, so I did hire you to be a tutor, but I also hired you to convince my daughter not to go to the Royal Academy. Basically, the older daughter, Stella, is already in the academy, and she's a weak magician. She's probably not going to be able to inherit the spells needed to run the household, and also there's no way Tina's going to be able to pull it off. So the whole house might just completely fall. And so he wants Tina to focus on botanical research, which she loves. She also loves that. And it might be that she's going to be to go to this magic stuff as like a it might seem like it perhaps is like the case where she's going to this stuff because out of an obligation, not because she loves it and wants to pursue magic. It might be that this is her way of trying to help out the house. Sorry, I put that on wrong, so I'm fixing that. So that's all the backstory. We get into that pretty quickly. And that's a big thing. Also, Tina can't fucking use magic. That's an important thing to note. Our dude got hired not to be a tutor, but to be like a downer and back him up that like, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to get into magic school. So like, don't fucking worry about it. Which is, I would say shitty of the dad to go through all this. But yeah, that's why he got hired. He got hired to convince her not to go through with this and not to go to the academy. Let's see. Look, and then so basically our guy Alan's just like, all right, I'll talk her out of it, but also if I can raise her magic ability and get to the point where she is viable to go, then you should let her. If I can pull this off, you gotta promise me. So that's basically our plot here. Also, the granddaughter of the butler also needs to be tutored, and that's the real Ellie. We were introduced to fake Ellie before. This is the real Ellie. Ellie also needs to get tutored, which is weird. Alan shows us a cat, aka the best character in the show. It's a black cat named Anko. Apparently, Tina's dream is to master a great spell, which nobody's been able to do. So Tina, who doesn't have any known magic ability, her dream is a big one, and that's cool. We like that. We like that around here. You know, have big dreams. Go big or go home. So I like that she's got big old dreams. I think that's fucking cool. But yeah, she wants to learn a great spell. And basically, Alan's just like, well, you have the mana. You've got enough magic, but something isn't working and you can't activate your spells. Like there's something's up. Something is something's weird. Something's blocking her abilities. And he's like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. Also, turns out, as we probably guessed it, other than the fact that he doesn't have any money, we don't know why he failed the court exam, but Alan is certainly a capable magician, and we get a little bit of a taste of that our dude does know how to use magic and is probably going to be a good tutor for our girl. And that kind of sets stuff up. That kind of sets up the world that we live in, the world we're kind of figuring this stuff out. And we're almost done with the leg here. We need to panel line this, and then we can continue on with our building as we get all this stuff together here. Now I'm going to panel line the other leg. Well, I tell you about episode 2 of Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter. And also, as I saw a friend of mine who was watching the show said, so if he's training 2 people, is he really a private tutor? And it's just like, yeah, you could argue that he is not just a private tutor, that he is a for-hire tutor. You want to be pedantic, which some people love. And I'm one of those people. Okay, so Alan's doing some like light explanation of magic stuff to our people, which helps us, the audience, learn that over the last 200 years, there have been more and more sorcerers, but their quality has decreased. So as there are more people who can use magic, the amount of magic, the power of magic has dwindled. Because, that makes sense. It's a balancing act. That is a interesting bit of lore that we get pretty early on. And Alan is basically like, magic power, this is his theory, magic power is borrowing the power of spirits, and there are only so many spirits to go around, so some people are only using lesser spirits. And that's why a lot of people can't use magic. We meet a new character named Shelly. She is Graham's wife. She is the head maid, and she's just like, hey, please don't abandon Tina. It would be such a bummer. We are introduced via letter to the character Lydia, who gets mentioned in the previous episode. There is some kind of hometown like connection. Are they fiancés? We don't know for sure. She's basically just mad that he left to get a job instead of asking her for a job. And basically tells him like, hey, I'm going to be at that school. I'll see you. Like, which he's not super thrilled about. So Tina makes some progress from the previous one. She has, her spell fails, but it's very clear that she was doing something right. So she didn't do a full ice spell, but there are like some flakes there. So that's promising. Some progress has been made. The magic's there. And apparently, so the idea is for our guy Alan is like, okay, maybe like modern magic doesn't work for her, and so he starts doing research, trying to figure that out. Meanwhile, Ellie, the butler and headmaid's daughter, it just doesn't have confidence. That's her problem. Like, she could probably be good at magic, so he's just like, all right, well, hey, parents, you got to start encouraging your daughter. That'll help her a little bit. Let's try to build up her confidence. So Walter, the dad, is just like, he is not waiting for the academy exams. He is just like, hey, if you don't get results, you got to stop her. Like, he just kind of, it's hasn't been that long, but he starts putting some pressure on there. And then Tina is mentions that she is very jealous of Ellie and Ellie's abilities to, even in a short period of time, do better at magic than she's doing, and kind of opens up. And then the episode ends with an explosion of ice. Is Tina's blockage emotional? Does her power only activate when she's showing emotion? And she's been repressing those emotions for so long? We don't know. We'll find out in episode 3. So, this is very by the numbers as far as a kicked series. Our guy kind of just got, like, it's not even a big enough deal to really discuss how our guy got banished, but he did. Something happened, and he's not welcome there anymore. The problem is that both Tina and Ellie seem to be emotionally completely enamored with our guy, and he does not seem to be aware of that, and that is troublesome as a viewer. Watching this guy have these young ladies be enamored of them because he is being supportive of them and he has skills and they're impressed by his skills, but also very clear they just need despite the fact that both of them have parents around, they just need like an adult. Like I said, he's a little troublesome because it might be going down the hero worship road or the girls having crushes on this guy road, and I am not interested in that anime. So like I said, I'm going to watch episode 3 because I think the premise is pretty fun. The magic system seems to be explained pretty well. I'd like to see Alan do some stuff. Get to see him do a little bit more. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to go. It is a little... it is technically a shonen, so we might see some more action, because it is a shonen demographic, but the young ladies present make me think that it like, we may be backdooring our way into an age gap harem, and I don't want to watch that. So, again, it could be on Monday, you could see me doing a review episode 3 where I go, and this is where I stopped watching. Like, it's totally plausible that I might just bow out of the show if it starts going down a road that I am not interested in. I don't know. But like I said, world building is fun. I think the premise is pretty solid, if not, pedestrian. We'll see. Still haven't fully decided what I'm going to be covering on Thursday. I can tell you, I'm not going to be doing an episode by episode walkthrough or talk through of the Reborn is a Vending Machine. I did for the first episode, but I am just going to be watching that at my leisure, and I'm going to be enjoying my time with that because it is so fucking good. Okay, so this goes like this. These need to be up like that. Then this, something that locks in here. That doesn't seem right. Sorry, everybody. I might have to get my translate, the old Google Translator out here and see what they want me to do with this. Oh, wait. Oh, is it going like that? Like this? That doesn't seem right. Because that doesn't fit in between there. All right, let me get my Google out here. Google Translator app. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? Did you do anything over the weekend? Do you got any plans for this week? I love hearing from you. Okay, so cut it out neatly is what they say here. And then cut it out neatly. All I'm getting is cut it out neatly, which is not helpful. All right, well, I'm getting a little bit of explanation of how this works, I think. Okay. All right, I think I understand how this is supposed to go. So now we can continue with that. But yeah, I want to hear from you. What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I always like hearing from you about those things. I will tell you, Nubby's Number Factory. You know I'm playing Nubby's Number Factory. That's not an everyday game, but it is most days I am playing that because I really, really like it. It's still a go-to of mine. Hearthstone. Yeah, Pat, cut it out. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Lord Crashington. Hey, Joey Gladstone reference. I appreciate it. Hearthstone new expansion comes out tomorrow. I am waiting a week to check that out. So I'm waiting a week to stream that. I will be checking it out tomorrow. I didn't finish any of my weeklies. Usually I finish at least some of my weeklies on Monday, but I'm waiting because when the new expansion comes out, then the battle pass resets, and then I can finish a bunch of my my weeklies tomorrow and get a bunch of experience for that and move up the battle pass and getting more packs. I also have I think I have enough money for like 28 packs, something like that. Yeah, I have enough money for a lot of packs, so I will be able to open some. Not as much as I've had for previous seasons, but in between, I should say. But I do have a good amount of money in there and gold in there to spend on that. So looking forward to that. Okay, so we're working on our waist here is really weird because it has to transform and do a bunch of jobs. So this is a weird piece of equipment that we are putting together here, but we will get into that. And I'm giving time for folks to write about what they're up to and what they're into. I played a little bit of Firebreak yesterday. I'll admit a bunch of us are very busy these days, so we have not had much time. The crew is still into Firebreak. We are still playing Firebreak, and it's still fun. But we are not as time committed as we have been for other games. But we'll find more time for it. I'm still liking it. It's still fun to play. Especially some of the changes that have been made have been helpful for us to get in there and get some games in. And I think that might be it as far as games. I didn't do any D&D session stuff. I think Friday I'm going to get some time in to do some stuff there, it looks like. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I think so. Yesterday, I did a bunch of bullshit around the house. I'll just say that. A bunch of bullshit around the house. I've talked about the vent in my attic space that had to be replaced. I went up there and put a secondary film around it. It was just an old windscreen. I just took the screen off and then borrowed a staple gun and put the staples all around there. And that worked out pretty well. And now it just has another layer of protection. So that bugs can't get in. And then I had to go to the other side of the house, up a different crawl space, which unfortunately does not have a built-in ladder for it. So I had to bring a big ladder in, which is too tall for what I was using, because the other ladder we have is too small to get into the crawl space that I had to use. So I had to use the big space, which was very frustrating. But I did get that done and get up into the crawl space because there was a hole in something, and so I had to patch that up, and I patched that, and it was very fucking hot. It was very hot up there, as it always is, and it was a pain in my fucking ass. But I did get it done, and I'm very pleased to report that those 2 projects are done, so I don't have to climb up into the crawl space. Hopefully ever again, but probably I will have to go back up there at some point, which I do not want to do. But again, I will at some point probably have to go back there for something. At least the one where the vent is over the garage, so there is a built-in stair or built-in ladder that comes down. So that is at least easier. I don't have to set up a ladder. So I had to set up a 10-foot ladder, because the 6-foot ladder, I could, if I wanted to just like reach for something in the crawl space, the 6-foot ladder was great, but I wanted to get into the crawl space, so the 6-foot ladder was not tall enough, so I had to use the 10-foot ladder, which is too tall. It was a pain in the ass getting that set up. So basically I had to get set up, and part of it was up in the entrance, which is just, the hole, and so I had to like figure out how to get in there and shimmy my way in, and it was really frustrating and not fun. I hated it. Lord Crashes says, I watched Sinners, which was really good. I played more Death Stranding 2 and beat a giant BT boss to get my first vehicles so I can drive places. Hell yeah. I'm glad you got a vehicle. Enjoy those vehicles. Hopefully you don't accidentally run over the NPC delivery folks that show up. Apparently some of them show up and spawn like in the middle of the road, so just look out for that, because you'll get dislikes if you hit them. That's a pro tip from me to you about that. I don't pretend to know a lot about it, but I definitely heard that, so I wanted to pass on that information. I need to watch Sinners. I need to check that shit out. I've heard very good things, of course, and I would like to check that out. I just haven't yet. All right, we got to build this thing where the legs pop in, so we'll get that going. Lastberg says, I watched Sinners now that it's on HBO Max, and that movie is still really good. I also watched Robot Jacks on the 4th, and there are certainly problems, but I love that dumb movie. Continuing into System Shock 2, super sure I like it more than 1 yet. Look, I remember liking System Shock 2 more than 1, but also that was at its time. Maybe in looking back on it, it's not as good, but I remember at the time anyway thinking it whipped ass, and it was, and I did like it more. But again, I don't know. Could be just me thinking fondly back on it and not thinking about the problems at the time. I also probably had a better computer for 2, which might be the reason why I like 2 more, is because I just had a better time playing 2. Because my computer at the time, I remember, struggled with System Shock. So maybe that's why I liked it. I don't remember, but that's totally possible. Let's see. Tomorrow I will be either watching some wrestling with y'all or playing a video game. I'm going to wait. I'm going to give it another day to see if the tie gets broken. If the tie does not get broken, I will break the tie. So that's basically where we're at. I don't know. I don't know how it'll go. But we'll give it the proper time. Is this the latest you've waited to figure out what you're doing for a game stream? I have done this before on ties on Patreon when folks have not voted for a thing. This is not the first time that I have waited until the day of. I am prepped for either, because as I said, the idea is that if I don't end up doing the one thing, I will do it later in the month anyway, because that just makes a lot of sense, to just do it. Generally that happens, not all the time, but often if something gets some votes but doesn't win on Patreon, on the Patreon poll, then I just do it anyway in that month, especially because there are 5 Tuesdays this month. So I have plenty of time to do some other things. There will be a stream where I play a game. I got a game code for something that is coming out. When is that coming out? I should. So that game is coming out tomorrow. And I got a code for it today. So it didn't make my list because I didn't know I was getting a code for it. So I didn't put it up as an option. So later in the month, I'll be checking out Islanders New Shores, which is a sequel to Islanders. It is just apparently most of Islanders, but also some new additions. They're just putting it out, another version of it out again. But yeah, I got a code for Islanders, and I'll be checking that out. Probably on the 22nd, because the 15th will be Hearthstone, 22nd will be that, and the 29th will most likely be whatever I don't do tomorrow. I'll just do later in the month. So it'll either be Pokemon at the end of the month, or it'll be Pat Watches Wrestling. So does it feature the New York Islanders? As far as I know, Lord Crashington, no, it doesn't feature the New York Islanders as far as I know. But again, I don't know for sure. It could. I got to use the translator again. So hold on. Get this translator open. Because there's a line of text here for 2006 instructions. So let's see. What do you say here? This says... place the part in the position, the illustration below, then assemble. Okay. So it's telling me, make sure that this is like this. Or you, I think that's what it's saying. Okay, so it wants to go in like that. I would have done that anyway. I didn't need those stinking instructions. I would have figured that out. Nope. I would have figured that out on my own. Game instructions. So we are almost done with this kit, but we will be finishing it up on Thursday's stream. They're missing out on brand synergy, says Lord Crash. Yeah, I don't. Doesn't have anything to do with that, so I think they're okay. I think it would have been, honestly, Lord Crashington, I think it would have been brand confusion more than anything else if they had tried to have some sort of crossover, because apparently it is just a building things on an island game, which I like a lot. I like these a lot. So yeah, basically you build up stuff on stages, you get points, and then you get things called boons that help you out, and you're building stuff to it's basically like a building puzzle solver, stage based, and I'm looking forward to that. But again, that comes out tomorrow, looks like, or later in the week. But the review, the very least, the review embargo is tomorrow. So let me actually look at Islanders New Shores. New Shores Steam. I can say that Islanders New Shores is coming out on Thursday. So I could do review coverage tomorrow. The game comes out on Thursday. Made by The Station. So yeah, it's coming out. There is a demo if you want to check the demo out. Comes out on July 10th. I will be covering it towards the end of the month. You can use a controller for that, looks like. That's good. You may know The Station from the SteamWorld games. That is what they are primarily known for. But they did also do a game, did a game called Islanders. But yeah, the SteamWorld build, and yeah, they got the SteamWorld Essentials pack here. But yes, they are known for the SteamWorld games, and also Islanders New Shores. You can check that out when it comes out. Looks like a fun city builder. I was thinking of getting Nubby's it's called Nubby's Number Factory, not Number Munchers or whatever the game is from the Steam sale, since it's even cheaper. Lord Crashington, I think it's really fucking fun. I mean, I think the main mode is great, but it really opens up as you start unlocking other kind of like modifiers, other Tonys who are your manager. Once you start unlocking other Tonys, I think the game opens up and becomes fucking buck wild in the best way possible. And I just, I'm a big fan of it. It is just a really fun game. And so I recommend it if you are looking. I recommend Nubby's Number Factory to whoever, because it is just good shit. There's a game coming to Game Pass this week you might like called Minami Lane, which is a chill city builder centered around one neighborhood. Nice. I will at least investigate. I do not have Game Pass at this time. I was not using it enough to justify having it when they increased the price. When they increased the price recently, somewhat recently, I was like, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped it. But yeah, I will at least investigate. It's also just $5 on Steam, says Lord Crashington. So Minami Lane, I will investigate. There's a couple games that I would like to get. I'm waiting for money to be available to me to make that easier. But there are a couple things that I am interested in picking up. There is a puzzle game that is ostensibly about like a museum that is a fan game, but it's properly licensed, because HoloLive basically is like you can apply for a license to make games with properties from HoloLive. So it is Raiden, who is a Japanese VTuber, who ostensibly her character is someone that likes museums, and she herself likes museums. So I am interested in that game to see what's up. It is available in English, so I'm certainly going to look at that at some point. Yes, there's Halo Survivors, fan game. That's an ass game. Yes. Mm-hmm. There is a HoloLive. There's a couple good looking HoloLive games that I'm always kind of interested in. There's the kind of like ass game that they made that also has like Jump King in it, and it has a bunch of other, like, there's like a casino in there, because it's full of like in jokes and references. There are a bunch of there's a bunch of bullshit in there that kind of fits into all of that. That ass game is just free to play. Yes. Yeah, some of them are some of the fan game stuff is free to play. Some of them do cost money because they're properly licensed. All right, so we're going to finish panel lining this and put this whole thing together on the Thursday stream. I do have something coming into the mail that will be a mailbag video, and I believe that'll be arriving on Friday. What's going on here? I'm just looking at my... That looked faster than it should have been. That was weird. I don't know. Whatever. We'll figure that out. But we'll finish this up, and then I think because on Friday I'm getting something in the mail that I'll start on Saturday, I might on Thursday just do a smaller kit, because this will not take a lot of time. This will take time to like finish it, putting it together, and then also learn how the transformation works and all that. We'll have to do all that. But I'll have time on Thursday, and I don't want to start something new if I have something coming that I know is coming in to the mail. So I'll check to see when that comes in, and if it arrives early, if it arrives a day early, I'll just build that on Thursday. But we'll find out. We'll play that by ear, just like we're playing by ear what I'm doing tomorrow. It could be playing Pokemon Heart Gold Randomizer, or it'll be watching some wrestling with everybody. And I have curated a playlist of a bunch of cool wrestling featuring some cool ladies, big hoss ladies, some strong badass ladies and cool badass ladies, and one funny badass lady. So we might include that. That might happen tomorrow. Either one. I'll figure it out. I might flip a coin if I got to. But either way, what's going to happen now is we are going to raid. We're going to go find someone doing cool shit out there that we want to go spend some time with, because we always end with a raid. We're going to go find them and go hang out. I encourage you to join me on this raid as we go see what's going on. Let's see who is doing things. And then again, 9 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, playing something, having fun. Let's see who we got here. Hey, my friend Rara is here. Vectroid is streaming. The wonderful Rara is here. So we will go. Has Rara started? Yeah, Rara is playing. Rara is doing stuff. Rara is in a mech. So we're gonna go hang out with my friend. I hope you come and hang out with Rara because they are really fun. We'll do that on a Monday. Could we have gone to Mary Kish, who's playing 2 Point Museum? Yes. We're not going to. We'll go hang out with Mary another time. So feel free to come along on this raid. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you come back tomorrow for something and more model kit building the rest of the week. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.